deals. Good morning, guys.
Hi, it's Alex Cosper with SacTV.com. I'm here with Alex Denio.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Of the Denio family, which runs Denio's Farmers Market and Auction here in Roseville.
Yes, sir.
And that goes way back to 1947?
1947, yes, sir.
So give us some history of the place.
So my grandfather, my grandpa Denio, Jim Denio, had an extremely good work ethic. He actually started Denio's in 47, as Alex said. He had a 7th grade education, so was very, very good with people and had street smarts. He married my grandmother, Marilee, and she was the valedictorian of UCLA in her day. So when they got together, they were kind of the power team, if you will. So I don't know if he ever imagined or dreamed of where the business would go. All he knew is get up early in the morning and work hard all day. And that was his work ethic. So basically from 1947, really where the market started was with produce. He sold produce out of an old Model T Ford, true story, on the corner of Vineyard and Atkinson, which is a corner of our property, our 80-acre facility. So as he continued to sell produce and get a little more clientele, if you will, working across from the old train yard, he ended up buying some property and bought more, and quite honestly, I don't know if he really foresaw what this company was morphing into. So then he began to not just deal with the vegetables, but he began a poultry auction, eventually that built up into a very large cattle auction, and then well-established garage sailors. So a lot of the merchandise that came in here were a lot of farmers that wanted to wheel and deal with people. From what I understand, back when there was a lot of bartering going on, so sometimes it was merchandise for merchandise. So anything really went back then, quite honestly.
Was it just local farmers?
Mostly local farmers. Now, currently where we are, our reach goes all the way well into Nevada. I have vendors that quite honestly come all the way from LA, from Orange County. They're regulars that sell here. So I think it started out a little smaller and just kept growing as people heard about Denio's.
So by the 1960s, what was it like?
1960s was some very strong growth. I was not here yet, so a lot of really neat black and white pictures, quite honestly, that I have got to see over the years, and just the stories. I've heard several wonderful stories, mostly from our vendors that knew my grandfather from back when. We have a current vendor that actually has been with us for 44 years, that's still alive and kicking, and actually sells produce. So
that's how Denio's makes its money, by selling space to vendors.
Yes, sir. Right. Correct. Yeah. So we own the property. We have several spaces, roughly about 1,600 spaces in all. As far as permanent vendors, close to about 900 permanent vendors, and a lot of day vendors that come from a long ways off. Like I say, I have folks that drive readily from the LA area on given weekends to sell. So pretty phenomenal, long reach.
Has it always been all year round?
You know what? There originally, from my understanding, there were 3 separate locations back in the later 40s. There were a couple locations that my grandfather sold on different corners, and everything ended up here in the corner of Vineyard and Atkinson and Roseville. He really liked the Roseville area, and a lot of it because of the switch yard across the way. A lot of history in this area. Just across from our property was the world's largest ice plant for the Union Pacific. So I mean, pretty phenomenal history. And then of course with the auction history, you add all that together. It's old Roseville, the old Parker Hotel. My grandfather had some property in that area as well. So when I look at old maps, it looks a lot different now. A lot of change.
Eric, I want to talk with you more about the history of Denio's in the next video.